Popular Culture Research Team. How can I help you? And joining us in the studio for Popular Culture Research Team is Eugene's. Oh, Eugene. Eugene, hello to you.
Hi, guys. Happy Friday.
Eugene.
Yes.
So, new season of ARIRANG Radio next week. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of our listeners want to know if there's going to be any changes. Chris Rose says, can you tell us if Yujin is staying or leaving at the start of the segment? Sometimes changes are good. Changes are good.
Does it?
Yes.
Okay.
And, Eugene's been very busy these days.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
And so, we had no other choice. But we'll let you know at the end of the show what's going to happen to this particular segment in just a bit. Right. Anyways, happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
We did K-pop for quite a while.
Uh-huh.
Are we going to be doing dramas or are we going to do movies? What are we going to be doing?
This time we will go through K-movie.
K-movie?
Not K-pop.
Yeah, K-movie. She said no more singing. You said no more singing.
A lot of pressure.
No more singing. We haven't done a movie in a really long time.
That's true.
Okay. So as we always do, we're going to do a one-line hint.
Yes.
And... my goodness. Okay.
It's very hard to choose the one-line hint this time. But my one-line hint is super easy.
Okay.
My one-line hint is the opposite word of nature dystopia.
Okay.
It's quite intuitive, right?
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. I can say this. Maybe this is a big enough hint. I don't think it's a big hint, but I think for people that know, I think it's a good hint. I was a big fan of this particular webtoon. I was a big fan of this webtoon that turned into a movie. And it was just earth-shakingly good. It's earth-shakingly good. It's earth-shakingly good is what do I want to say here? That's it.
Okay.
No, but really, it was one of my favorite webtoons. That I read, and so it's based on a webtoon. There's just a hint there.
Mm-hmm. We're also having movie trailer.
So, again, it could be Eugene's last day, and I know everyone wants to hear her sing. It could be, but it could be not. I don't know what it is. But instead, you're going to hear my voice.
Yes.
Movie trailer. Are you guys ready?
I'm ready.
All right. On the day the world fell, everything was gone. The disaster took everything. The city's lights, hope for life, and humanity. But there was one place that miraculously survived. People swarmed towards it to survive. But this place couldn't shelter them all. A place where humanity's deepest instincts awaken. Can their utopia truly last forever? Here comes a paradise built on despair. That's like so
As
much
always.
echo. That much echo, I have to sing.
Can you?
Huh? No, I could sing.
Let's try.
Oh, hey, Yujin, can you sing?
No.
That would be a very good idea.
No way.
Singing the movie trailer. I wonder how you'll be able to, because if I do this.
What about the melody?
No, for me, I'll be like, on a day the world fell, everything was gone. The disaster took everything, the city's lights, hope for life and humanity. But there was one place the miraculous survived. How would you sing? How would you sing this? How would you sing it?
Melody?
And make any melody. On the day the world fell, everything was gone.
The disaster took everything. The city's lights, hope for life, and humanity.
But there was one place that miraculously survived, and people swarmed toward it to survive. They're dying outside right now. I think our producer's really angry outside.
Really?
He's so mad. He's so mad at our singing. We got answers. Oh my goodness. We got some answers coming in. He said it's embarrassing. I don't know why he would be embarrassed. My parents would be embarrassed.
I am embarrassed.
Eugene's embarrassed.
I'm embarrassed.
Why is the one person that should be embarrassed not embarrassed? I'm not embarrassed. This should have been the OST for the film. I agree. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it the Titanic melody? Well, maybe that's also a hint too. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's a hint.
To survive.
Anyways,
Good try.
here is another hint. This time it's an actual song, and we'll take a listen to it and we'll give you the answer. Guys, try to get the answer correct. This is Rosé with 아파트. That was Rosé featuring Bruno Mars with 아파트, and I wasn't embarrassed when I was singing the Celine Dion version of the song, but I was embarrassed when John said, SJ has no idea what the words are. It's true. I was lip syncing random stuff. I really didn't know the words. I only know 아파트. That's all I know. Oh my goodness, you caught me, man. You caught me. Let's see. Let's look at answers here.
Okay.
First of all, we had. I'm going to go to the wrong answer. We only had one wrong answer.
Oh.
And Sukasa says Mickey 17.
Mickey 17 is a good movie, though.
Yeah, you watched it?
Yeah, I loved it.
I guess you could kind of understand why you would say Mickey 17.
Right.
It wasn't a bad answer, to be honest with you. But the answer was...
The answer is Concrete Utopia.
Concrete Utopia. And the first person to answer was Stella, who said Concrete Utopia. 1, 2, 3. And then... Second one was James, Concrete Utopia, the great Lee Byung-hun. 1, 2, 3. And the third place goes to Benny, who says 정답 Concrete Utopia.
Hi, Yujin. Hi, Benny.
1, 2, 3. And let's see, any other answers that people, did anyone else get the answers?
Mickey 17 again.
Everyone just stopped. Like, no one wants to be after third place. It's just like, no one wants to be fourth place anymore. But anyways, it is Concrete Utopia.
True.
Tell us about this movie.
Okay, so this movie was released in August 2023, and it stars great actors like Lee Byung-hun, Park Seo-joon, and Park Bo-young. So this is a disaster film, and unlike the title, the movie has a dystopian vibe.
Yeah, that's why she was saying that when you use, what is it, nature...
Dystopia.
Dystopia was the complete opposite
of Concrete
of
Utopia.
that. Yeah, and the thing is, also, this movie was based on a webtoon, and there's the first part is called 유쾌한 왕따, The Great Escape, and then the second part was 유쾌한 이웃, I think it is.
Oh.
And it's based on this webtoon. And it's a really, really good webtoon. It's super good. And so I didn't watch the movie. I read this, the webtoon, so I don't know how similar it is. But from what I understand, there's a lot of similarities to it. I mean, it's based on the webtoons.
Right.
But I know this was well received by the public critics as a Korean-style disaster film. Tell us more about the plot.
Okay, so an earthquake hits Seoul and every building collapses, but only one apartment building remains intact. Survivors start to flock to the apartment, and the residents begin to kick out the outsiders, saying they must protect their home. So they create their own rules, trying to turn the apartment into their own utopia. And in that process, Young-tak, played by Lee Byung-hun, is chosen as the residents' representative. And at first, he seems responsible and protects the apartment, but he gradually turns into a dictator. And the other characters are in the same situation, but they show different personalities. For example, Min-sung, played by Park Seo-joon, is an ordinary husband who tries to protect his family, but gradually becomes influenced by Young-tak. And Min-sung's wife, Myung-hwa, played by Park Bo-young, is a person who never loses her humanity and morality, secretly hiding and helping the outsiders. In the end, as the selfishness and conflicts for survival intensify, the utopia inside the apartment slowly falls apart.
So okay, now I remember the plot of this, and I remember watching the trailer as well. So it's similar to the webtoon 유쾌한 왕따 with The Great Escape in that everything that you said is correct. There was like a big earthquake.
A
A lot of people died. There's this one apartment that was up. Later, they find out that there's other apartments and there's other survivors. But the webtoon was based on the main character was a young kid.
Oh,
Yeah.
young kid.
I think he was like maybe a middle school kid or like a high school kid. And then there's another girl who he kind of likes. And so the main character was these two kids.
About love story?
No,
or
it wasn't a
just
love story.
survival?
They survived.
Okay.
And so it's based on their point of view. And everything, like you said, like, everyone tries to set up this utopia. But I mean, the fact of the matter is, everyone who starts off as a very good person, when you give them the power, they turn into dictators.
Right.
And there's a clash amongst people. And then, you try to find other survivors and all this crazy stuff.
Right.
It is a very dystopian. It's a dystopian story that tries to build on a utopia. So it's fun. So again, the movie seems to show a lot of different themes, right?
It really does. It very well describes how human selfishness reveals in an extreme disaster. And the residents believe they are protecting their community, but in reality, they end up brutally expelling outsiders. And that defensive attitude, like, only we deserve to survive, turns into collective selfishness. And they treat their survival as a kind of privilege, as if their apartment makes them superior to the people outside. And it goes to the extent where they even start calling outsiders cockroaches.
Yes.
Not make sense. So the movie shows us that the collapse of humanity is scarier than the collapse of a city.
That's interesting because even in the webtoon, they call them cockroaches, 바퀴벌레. And so they're like the outsiders, and they're people outside of the apartment. And the whole thing is they have to try to also gather whatever food.
Right, food.
And so when it comes to gathering food, it becomes a battle. And so there are areas where you can enter and you can't enter, and then like people fight for it and stuff like that.
They even kill each other.
Yeah, but
Accidentally.
it also reminds you, if you like saw what you, if you see the movie and the webtoon too, it's kind of like North Korea. It's kind of like North Korea. You know why? Because like you talk about the dictator.
Oh, dictator.
Like the resident representative, but in the webtoon you have a leader too, a representative. But
Is it a dictator? Right.
kind of plays like a dictator
okay.
role, right? And so what he does is he chooses some like members, people
To live together?
they give him more food.
Oh.
In exchange, he has the power. Like kind of like Kim Jong-un does that. He gives like expensive watches to like his, aides and stuff like that to keep them stay on his side and be loyal and things like that. So you see a lot of this. But Yujin, if you were in this situation,
In this situation? Okay.
what do you think you would have done? Like, would you have let the outsiders in the apartment, or you have kicked them out?
I think I would have let them in, because if someone's dying right in front of me, I don't think I could just turn my back. And of course, survival is important, but I don't think anyone can truly survive alone. And without humanity, like solidarity and morality, survival might be meaningless. And besides, if you push outsiders away, you're just creating more enemies, right?
Yeah.
How about you, SJ?
So this is a tougher question if you know the situation, right? So I don't know. Again, I didn't watch the movie, and luckily I didn't watch the movie, so I won't spoil this.
Okay.
But in the webtoon, what happens is, let's say, Yujin, for example, okay, you're an outsider.
I'm an outsider.
Okay, you're an outsider.
Okay.
I live in the apartment, okay?
You are a resident.
And then you came into the area and you look hurt. You're hurt. And then you're like, oh my goodness, please.
Help me. Please let me in.
I'll sing Ditto. Oh, I'll sing a song.
Stay in the middle.
And then I'll be like, oh my goodness, I have to help out. But when I go help you, it's like, ha ha ha. And then all of a sudden, people start throwing stuff at me and they attack me. So it was a trap. They use people to trap others. And so that's why they keep going, don't trust anybody. Don't trust anybody. Because like they could pretend that like you need help, and when you go out to help them.
Oh, it's a trap. Oh, that's heartbreaking.
So as a very skeptical person who don't trust a lot of people, I don't know, Eugene. I mean, if I knew you, and like,
Are you gonna save me?
I would try to save you.
Try to.
But if you were a stranger, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. Only because I
that's
know the
true.
story and what goes on.
Can't believe each other.
John says, bro, you can't choose Eugene. All dudes will be trying to help Eugene. So I'll just let everyone else help them. And then get them killed. And I'll be the dictator. I already
You
have
are a dictator.
I already have the look.
Kim Jong-un.
Yeah, I already look like him, so I want to be the dictator, right? Was there a character or a scene that was particularly like impressive, like really stood out?
Of course. So there is a character named Do-gyun. So
Okay.
he was actually protecting outsiders in his home secretly,
Okay.
but he eventually gets caught by Young-taek, the leader, the dictator. And because of that, Do-gyun and some people were forced to kneel down and apologize to the other residents simply for helping outsiders. And that scene was so impressive and even devastating because it doesn't make sense to apologize for helping others, right?
Yeah.
So it shows a total collapse of humanity. So because of this situation, Do-gyun eventually ends up taking his own life,
no.
and he leaves these words behind. No matter how much the world changes, there are things a person should do and things they shouldn't.
Yeah. It's, again, I mean, you have to watch the movie, or at least, what I did, I read the webtoon, and it's very similar. It's very similar.
The plot is very similar.
And it's really, like, you get really sucked into it, but you also keep thinking, what would I do in that situation? But it's very hard to answer because of all the things that goes on. And you never know what you're going to do unless you're actually in that situation.
Right.
And it's a situation that, doesn't really happen, right? It is
unusual.
heartbreaking, but again, he did the right thing. He did the right thing, but he did pay a very heavy price for it.
Right. And there was a scene where he waters a plant right before he took his own life. And that scene still lingers in my mind because water would be so precious and valuable in that situation. So giving that water to a plant doesn't make sense at all. But it felt like he was saying, even if I can't make it, I hope you survive. And that really struck me because even in a disaster, instead of pushing people away, we need people like Do-gyun who want everyone to make it through together. So in that sense, I chose our next song to be Haikki's Rose Blossom, 건물 사이에 피어난 장미, because the first line of the song is, a rose that blossomed between buildings, please just survive, don't be broken, grow well. So it felt like it expressed Do-gyun's hurt really well, and I wish people would act like him.
I'm not 100% sure, but it sounds like Do-gyun was basically the main character of the webtoon that I talked about. He doesn't die, but he does end up leaving the apartment because he wants to help. And I think, if I remember correctly, it's been a while since I last read this, but there is a part where water is very scarce.
Oh,
Remember, if water goes out, then you have to go look for drinkable water.
That's true.
And so I think he pours the water and says, I hope you survive at least, or something like that.
water plant.
Yeah. I think that was a very similar scene. So anyways, we're going to get into all the cultural elements of this particular movie. And as Yujin said, we're going to take a listen to this song from Haikki with the Rose Blossom, 건물 사이에 피어난 장미. It is a very emotional scene.
True. Yes.
And you even kind of see that in, like, WALL-E?
What
You
is
ever
that?
watch WALL-E?
WALL-E?
WALL-E.
WALL-E?
WALL-E, yes.
I know.
And then like they found a plant.
All right.
And then that
That's
plant
cute.
is like the one little hope of,
dystopian world.
yeah. And so like here it's a flower, right? If you look at the movie again, the title Concrete Utopia, but it seems the exact opposite. Concrete dystopia is what it is, right?
So normally, like, utopia means a peaceful world where everyone is happy, but the utopia in the movie is actually ruled by exclusion and violence. So on the surface, the only apartment left standing might feel like utopia, but if it's being built and protected through violence and selfishness, can we really call it real utopia? I think it's a dystopia filled with like selfishness, exclusion, and dictatorship.
Yeah, and that's, there's a book called Utopia by Sir Thomas More. And if you read the book, it almost seems like it just makes no sense because you're not going to have anything like that. And when you try to build a utopia, what you do is you build the opposite because there's no way that everything, there's no fairness Even though you tried to build utopia. And that's what communism was basically on.
Oh,
The whole idea of communism was that everyone was fair. Everything is fair game. Everyone gets paid the same. And everyone does the same amount of work. Everyone gets the same amount of food. Everyone gets the same amount of wealth. And on the outside, it looks good. Right?
Inside.
But it doesn't, because you have a leader
Right.
who leads the communist idea and he becomes a dictator. And how is that
Yeah.
fair? And so this is basically the same thing. We go back to my big brother over there up north. Apartment setting, also very interesting, because the
Right.
symbolism of apartment in Korea, very significant, right?
Yes. Korea has a high population density, so apartments are actually the most common type of housing. So they're simply living spaces, but at the same time, sadly, an apartment symbolizes a person's class and social status in Korea. It's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
But the movie shows the reality and various conflicts that actually happen in our society. For example, in 2023, so there was a tragic incident where a security guard in an apartment complex took his own life,
yeah.
and his colleagues put up like a memorial banners in the apartment complex. But some residents demanded it be taken down, saying it would lower the apartment's price or value. So this incident was a big shock to Korean society. It's similar to the way residents in the movie start losing their humanity and putting property above people.
A lot of what happens, everyone wants to own a home. Okay, that's the goal. Everyone wants to be a homeowner.
That's like a dream.
Right? But the sad fact is, once you own the home, the other thing that you have to worry about, because you took out so much mortgage, you took out so much loan, your bank basically owns most of your house
true.
anyways, is you hope that the price goes up. And you basically put everything on this house, and the last thing you want is for the price of the apartment to go down. But you know,
It's about morality
yes.
and humanity.
And the ironic thing about this is that when they tried to think that, you know, by not posting up the banner on the security guard who took his own life, it got on the news, and that action actually lowered the price of the apartment
Right.
even more. So there you have it. The scenes in the movie are not that different from reality.
Right.
While it is a very dystopian kind of world, it's very, very similar in some cases. Let's talk about some similar cases.
Okay, there's another interesting case. So there was a department store in Korea which gave special benefits only to residents of a specific luxury apartment complex. So they gave them free parking and discount coupons, and other people couldn't use them. Only the people who lived in that particular luxury apartment could. So people started asking, this is discrimination. So is your apartment now your social status? So this case is very similar to the scene in the movie where the apartment becomes a symbol of power and privilege.
You know, young kids, know cars really well. And so you have even kids from like kindergarten who go, my daddy drives whatever car. My dad drives this car. And then like there was a big one where the kid goes, well, my daddy drives a German car. And then you know what the other kid goes? Yeah, but then the license plate has Hirt, which means it's a rental. You don't even own that car. Like kids
Oh my goodness.
know all this.
Kindergarten kids,
Yes.
right? Oh my goodness.
And then you go to going, that kid
insane.
lives in that apartment complex, so you shouldn't hang out with that kid. Our apartment complex is better. And so I worry because my apartment is surrounded by big apartment complexes.
Wow, they're also talking about the size of apartment they're living.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah,
I mean, they're kids.
몇 평이야? How many 평 is your apartment? Things like that, you know? Like
Oh my goodness.
our playground has water playground, like they say all this stuff. And so apartment becomes a status
Right.
in the society, and you see this at the movie as well. But again, in the end, you can see that the story in the movie isn't just fiction. It portrays social issues that already exist in Korean society.
Exactly. So the movie describes the collapse of humanity as something extraordinary, but in reality, it's too common in our society. But the movie doesn't only show selfish people, it also has people who help others like Myunghwa and Do-gyun. And there are also people in real life who choose to help others. For example, in an apartment in Seoul, a security guard who had worked there for a long time was diagnosed with stage 3 pancreatic cancer. You know the story?
Yeah.
And the thing is that the residents of the apartment voluntarily raised money for his hospital bills, and they collected about 5 million won. And not only that, they refused to hire a replacement and actually rotated duties themselves until he could return to work.
Yes, you have stuff like this that happens, but you also have, unfortunately, other stories, right, where they choose their status over what's right, what's ethically correct. Hyun over in Virginia says that's totally the parents telling the kids stuff like that. It's true. It's exactly what it is. It's the kids basically doing. The saddest thing that I saw was, so you know how like some apartment complexes are bigger than the others and it's more fancy. And so there are apartments where they have not just a playground, but it turns into a water playground during the summer. And so one kid, elementary school kid, he used to go over to play in that playground because she has classmates who are there. And someone said, you can't come here. Because you don't live here. So what this girl did was, can I then ask the people who live here if I could play here, right? And so she wrote in her hand, I live in something apartment, but my friends all live here and I want to play here. Will you let me play in this playground?
Goodness.
Yes or no? Most of the people put a sticker next to no.
No?
Yeah, even though a kid wrote that.
Oh my goodness.
And so it's basically saying, no, this is our place.
This is all about movie, right?
Yeah, no, not in the movie, like in actual life. And so again, apartments being a status, and this is that one apartment that's standing in this big earthquake, that's their big status. It wasn't even a very good apartment. It's just that it was the one standing, right? But we did also have a very touching story that you shared with us. What else do we have?
For example, many residents across Korea have been organizing efforts to improve working conditions for security staff of apartments, like better break rooms. And they also hold charity events and do a lot of other activities to help one another. So these cases remind us that whether it's inside an apartment or society at large, what matters most is, harmony.
Yeah. I mean, and it also, like, we keep talking about security staff because oftentimes they are abused, terrible things happen to them, and they work in that little area, and sometimes they like tell them you can't use the fan or the air conditioner because it's our electricity. Like, come on, like that's like someone's father. That's someone's grandfather.
Right.
That's someone's family member. Like, how would you feel if your father, if your grandfather was going through that? Like, we don't think about that stuff, right? But also, even in disasters or tough times, getting through it together is what counts. And you see movies, always the character that tries to do everything by themselves, they're the first ones to die. The ones that stick together, they die later. I mean, eventually they die, but they die later.
That's true. Because it's a movie.
Yes, and then, the good-looking ones survive at the end. But tell us about this.
Okay, so Koreans have always overcome difficulties by standing in solidarity and helping with each other. So, and we also overcame like COVID together, the recent unprecedented massive wildfires, and other difficult times as a nation by sticking together. And there's also a saying that goes like, united we stand, divided we fall. You cannot survive alone. And Korea is also a country of Tong, that special kind of deep warmth, care, and human connection. And like Do-gyun said, we shouldn't forget that no matter how much the world changes, we have to keep our humanity in harmony.
The one thing that I always remember is when South Korea was going through the IMF crisis.
금모기.
Yeah, everyone donated their gold. Everybody. They're just saying, this costs a lot, but we're going to give this up in order to pay back the debt that the country has. And I mean, that was the reason, that was one of the main reasons for how South Korea was able to get back on track very, very quickly, right? Let's all just be good people, guys. Be good people. By the way, today is Yujin's not last day.
Sorry,
not last day.
guys.
Yujin will be back
Sorry,
next week with more fun stuff on
fun
Popular
stuff.
Culture Research Team, so you don't
More
have to worry.
singing.
No protest. No protest, guys.
riots.
So, Eugene, thank you so much for today, and we'll see you again next week.
Thank you. See you next Friday. Bye.